Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening or afternoon? This afternoon. I will be your host, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my bumblebee laughing brother, Alex. Alex, how you doing today?
Man, doing very well. I got my hat on today, so I'm feeling a whole lot better.
You look like a traffic cone.
Hey, man. Someone's got a direct around here, okay?
No. That's like the don't hit me traffic cone, not the directing traffic cone.
Yeah, it was a little tough, man. I'm a little bit under the weather, but there's still a show. You don't have to get that far. Relax.
I don't want to get sick.
I'm not contagious.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Dude,
I know what I have.
Hey, listen to me. You're a fucking podcaster. You're not a doctor. What do you know?
I know a lot. Enough to know that I'm here doing the damn show.
That's right.
Don't worry, fans. As long as you listen or look at the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, I will not get you sick. Just go watch the episodes, enjoy, and get ready for another great show of the Positive Sports Podcast.
That's right. He's not contagious via audio or video.
That's right.
It's painful to look at, I will admit, but...
Yeah, just look at him then.
We will have a segment later on today about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
We sure will. You will be part of the ugly.
You are the ugly. What are you talking about?
I am the great. Let's get going, man.
Good.
The good. I'm the great.
The great. There's no segment for you then.
No.
Hey, if you want to get a hold of the show, you can do so. Email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of this guy.
On Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho.
If you want to get a hold of me, you can do that at eMontana21 on Twitter as well. So, now that we've gotten through all the formalities and imbecile-type jokes,
yes,
let's get down to business. Hey, the topic's got to be the World Cup, right? We had a fantastic final today. The semifinals were good. The World Cup is it's one of those grandiose events. Comes once every 4 years. It's so much fun. There's so much anticipation, and of course, everyone breaks out their national flags, and there's that nationalistic feeling. It's a lot of fun. But when you get down to the Final Four, when you get down to the semifinals, now you're down to the true business of crowning a champion in the world of soccer. And we had 4 teams. 2 that we really kind of, were not that much of a surprise. 1 that was maybe a little bit of a surprise, and 1 that was a surprise. All 4 European teams.
Yep.
I think a lot of times when the World Cup is played over on that half of the world, Europe or Asia, I think the European teams just have an advantage, and it just seems to work out that way. But we had France and Belgium in one half. We had England and Croatia in the other. What'd you think about that France-Belgium game?
Damn, I can't even remember the game anymore.
Okay, then. Well, thank you for coming to the show today. France won that game 1-0. To refresh you.
Yes, okay. I don't remember much of it, to be honest with you. I feel so unprepared.
He's sick.
It's my high school days are coming back. When I used to
He's got the sniffles.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't call in sick.
Yeah, almost. I got plenty of sick days.
Not from this show, you don't. Listen here. You've already missed 1 or 2. You can't miss anymore, man.
I don't even remember who scored for France.
I don't remember who scored either. But
great.
I do know that France won 1-0. France, aside from that game against Argentina where they let in 3, defensively they had been very good. A lot of pressure with the speed on the outsides, and just in the midfield they had a lot of speed that I think left their defense really to kind of take it easy. And look, when the time came, they certainly stepped up. Defensively, they were marvelous. Against a Belgian team that was scoring goals, yeah. I mean, they were scoring goals like there was no tomorrow. And France scored 1 and then completely suffocated that Belgium offense. Hazard and De Bruyne did nothing in the middle of the field. They were just clogged up all game long, it seemed like. And France's speed really, really showed through. And they came out of it with a gritty 1-0 win. look, they're a fantastic team. We'll talk about more about them later, so it's really no surprise. And that Belgium team is very good as well. A lot of stars that play in the Premier League and are very successful in the Premier League. So, it was a masterful performance, I thought, by France. Not from an offensive point of view, but defensively. And if you look back at the tournament, really the only game where they got exposed defensively was against Argentina. And all the other games, they were very, very tight defensively.
I thought Belgium scoring the way they did and seeing a couple holes in the France defense. Because I thought I saw a few holes in their defense that Argentina was able to expose. I thought Belgium would score at least one. I didn't think they would win, but at least get a goal in there. But I guess their defense showed up to play. France's,
and really, the thing about France that impressed me was it wasn't the defense as much as it was the midfield was just they just didn't let them move, and they really and even at the end of the game when Belgium was really pushing forward, they never really got to the French area. They never got into the French penalty box to really put a lot of pressure on them. And, again, the midfield, I thought, did a fantastic job in that game.
Well, I think Belgium has nothing to put their heads down about.
Absolutely
they played a great World Cup. They were, ranked third?
Yeah.
That's a hell of a ranking.
Yeah. No, and they showed their ranking. I don't think that they had an easy group in that they had Tunisia and Panama in it, but they had a tough group in that they had England in it, which was a formidable foe. And, they came through their group 3-0. On their way through the quarterfinals and whatnot, they knocked off Brazil 2-1 in a very exciting game, and a game that they really, really, for long stretches controlled. They started off a little shaky, but, that thrilling game with Japan in the round of 16. So, really, you're right. They have absolutely nothing to hang their head about. They had a fantastic World Cup, I thought. And, now then the challenge for them is going to be replacing some aging veterans. But, they've still got a great squad. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know how, it's the golden something, right? It's the golden whatever. It's the golden boot.
Golden boot.
The golden boot is for the best player. The golden ball is for the goal scorer. But then there's another one for the best goalkeeper. And the keeper from Belgium.
Did he?
He won the golden keeper thing. Golden glove. I think it is. I think it's the golden glove since they wear gloves. I'm almost positive.
The golden glove.
It's the golden glove. So, they certainly have a lot to look forward to.
Well, yeah, they had to look forward to playing the third place game, which they would grab the winner of England and the loser. I'm sorry. Yes, the loser of England and Croatia. Which, man, Croatia has shown some stones in these last three games.
Oh yeah.
To go extra time in the last three games in the round of 16, the quarterfinals and the semis, and two of them go to penalty kicks. I mean, man, that's a lot of mileage on those legs when you look at this tournament of this type, right?
Right, when you're talking about a tight time frame.
So I absolutely thought this would be the end of Croatia's run.
Yeah.
And England just showing to be so much more, like, just the way they've been playing in the knockout stages. I thought England would just outscore them.
Yeah, I thought so too. I've said it over and over again. If you go to PKs, it's hard to win the next game for a couple of reasons. It's not just the physical wear and tear of playing an extra 30 minutes, because that's not that bad, says me who doesn't have to play the extra 30 minutes. But that part is not bad. What's bad is the emotional toll that your body takes from having to go to the lottery that is PKs, and having done it twice for Croatia, albeit the second time they had to do it against a team that also did it. So it was a bit even. But here you had an English team that was fresh, that was winning games comfortably. They rested a lot of people in their third game against Belgium. So even though they had played the same number of games, A, they hadn't played all the extra time, and B, they they managed their energy levels throughout the tournament, I thought. And look, this English team, don't sleep on them, because that's a predominantly young squad, and they found themselves a star in that keeper Jordan Pickford. He is next level. That kid is going to be awesome. He was awesome in this tournament, and a lot of young guys that played really well. Even guys coming off the bench, I thought that played really well. And of course, you've got snipers like Harry Kane, who he won the golden sombrero or something like that for the most goals.
Does every award start with golden?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. And I just never know which is which.
Yeah.
I take it back. It's boot, ball, and glove, I believe. I don't know.
Huh.
I just know he won the one for highest goal scorer of this World Cup. Hats off to him. He really had a wonderful tournament.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I almost think it hurt England to score so early against Croatia. It seemed like, they scored in like the 4th or 5th minute, and it seemed like once they scored, they're like, oh yeah, this is going to go exactly the way the pundits have been talking. They're tired. We're good. We're just going to cruise through this. And Croatia just did not stop fighting. Croatia found their gear at a certain point. I think it looked to me like they were trying to manage their energy early on. And at some point they figured out, screw it. Let's go forward. Let's attack. And if we run out of gas and lose 6-0, what's the difference in losing 1-0? So let's just go for it. And they did, and eventually they found the goal to tie and went into extra time and won it there.
I don't think it would have mattered when England scored. The way Croatia's been playing, and we'll get into it here in the World Cup final, they just respond.
Yeah.
I mean, the way,
the story behind Croatia and just what it's taken them to get here, and the situation going on with that national team. They had to play 2 games behind closed doors because of fan violence and stuff. And the fan violence wasn't against other teams. It was against their own people because they were pissed off about the Croatian Soccer Federation. They've got 2 stars in Luka Modric and Rakitic. One plays at Real Madrid. The other one plays at Barcelona. So they play very high-level soccer. They are obviously the keys to that team. But Luka Modric is in a perjury scandal back in Croatia over some contract with some agent or something. So just all of this turmoil. The coach has only been there like 6 months. I mean, there's just all of this turmoil around this team. And you're right, they've shown a lot of stones to block all that out and come and really perform at this tournament. If you think back, they won all of their games in group play. They went 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
In the round of 16, they played a very tough Denmark team who scored in the first, 3 seconds of the game. They came back to beat them. They beat a pesky Russian side playing at home. And now, they faced England, and they really stepped up to the challenge.
Yeah. And, heading into the final now, right, between Croatia and France. I mean, at this point, are you saying, okay, Croatia's going to win? Or are we thinking France is just too fast, too good on defense, and they're just going to frustrate Croatia, right?
Yeah, again, I hate to admit that I fell into the trap again, the same trap I fell into in the semifinals.
Yeah.
Of there's no way this team just played an extra 90 minutes of soccer. They played an additional game in an already compressed schedule.
That's crazy.
Against a French team that is built on speed.
Yes.
Right? Which is the killer of killers. Of course, France is going to just drub them.
And so in the first half of the World Cup final, Croatia had about a 2-1 possession time. I mean, I
think that was the case for the entire game.
Was it for the entire game?
Yeah.
Well, maybe a little less in the second half, maybe.
The last I saw was 61-39, so just under 2-1.
It's just 2-1.
Yeah, it's just about 2-1.
So I mean, if you watch the game, Croatia was controlling the soccer ball
the first half
early
for sure.
on.
Oh yeah.
And then there was a little bit of of a call that was that could have gone another way. The hold on, we'll get into hold on before I fire up Ed. We got to rewind. It's after. It's before that.
La 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 la.
It's before that.
Okay.
The foul on
Griezmann.
I mean that
generates the free kick.
Free kick, and then the own goal headed by the Croatian guy.
Right. Mandzukic.
Is that his name?
I think so.
Yeah, it sounds right.
I had an itch at the end. It's got to be right.
Well, you better scratch. That was a questionable call, man. I mean, I felt like Griezmann was falling already. The defenseman barely touches him, so that was kind of iffy. Whatever.
Did they go to the VAR? Because that would have been a great instance to go to the VAR.
It was there for them to go to.
Oh, they had the VAR, so the VAR was available.
It was
for
available.
A questionable foul call, but they didn't go.
No, but they did go. Maybe
later.
13, 15 minutes later on another questionable handball in the box. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? You think that was a handball?
I never could get a good look at it, partially because I've been out in the sun too much this weekend. My brain's fried. I never could get a good look to see if the French player touched it. If the French player touched it, geez, what is a defender to do, right? He's got to put his arm somewhere. Are they supposed to jump up and down like this? Like, when are they going to come out with these? When are these defenders going to start playing with belts around their chest that holds their arms like this so that they can't do anything? I mean,
straight jackets?
Straight jackets. They should play in straight jackets. Because, again, I don't know. But why go to the VAR?
I don't understand. I've seen so many plays during this World Cup where you would say, okay, that play in the box, questionable. It looked questionable. They need to go to the VAR, and they don't go to it. This one, the ref gets the call in his earpiece saying go to it, and it just doesn't look... I'm no soccer expert, but it just doesn't look like a penalty to me.
Yeah.
And he awards the penalty to France. Griezmann, of course, being a striker, nails it to the right of the keeper, and now they're up 2-1 at that point.
Yeah.
Because Croatia had tied it up.
Right. Croatia, at the end of that first half, Croatia really should have been up 1-0 instead of down 2-1. And it's a different game. It's a different game up 1-0 as opposed to down. The own goal, I mean, it could have happened on any play, obviously, but, man, you're right, that foul on Griezmann, yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot worse. And I told myself I wasn't going to complain about the VAR, but the World Cup's over. And
you have not talked enough about the VAR. Talk to us about the VAR, Ed.
Again, if there's one thing that FIFA needs to address from this World Cup, they need to address the consistent use of the VAR. Give coaches a challenge. If you can't find a consistent, objective ground onto which they will review plays, then I hate to say it because I'm not a fan of it in this sport either. Give the head coaches a little red flag that they can throw out onto the field anytime they want to challenge a call, and give them 2 per game, and be done with it. But you cannot have some random person. I don't understand if some referee is watching a game on TV. How is he not buzzing down for VAR review every 5 minutes? And I'll say it again, on every single corner kick. So FIFA has to address this. It's absurd that it is so subjective. The red card review is probably the worst. And I'll use the Ronaldo example as one. A play completely off the ball that is not. It's not a yellow card. If he's punching him in the face, it's not a yellow card. It's a red card. And if it's not a red card, it's nothing.
Right.
The referee goes back and gives him a yellow.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Just ban replay all across the board, please. Just please, especially in soccer. I mean, I think the integrity of the game has been altered with this VAR. It really has.
I agree.
It really has, and I don't like it one bit. But whatever.
Keep the goal line technology. Ball in or out. I'm all for that. but absolutely not with the VAR. It needs to be addressed. The other thing that needs to be addressed is people touching the referee.
I agree.
I really don't like to see that. It's a slippery slope. We're going to get to a point where someone's going to punch a referee in the face, or he's going to grab him and yank him by the ears or whatever. And it's too much. It's too much touching.
Can you imagine that happening in a third world country? And I mean, the fans are gonna go crazy, right?
Exactly.
In these league plays, in the country's league play. I mean, it's gonna go crazy, right?
Right.
So,
no, you're absolutely right, and that's exactly
dangerous.
the problem. Is that you get these players that are touching the referee, bumping into the referee, putting their hand around his neck. At one time, they're gonna yank on his ear. The referee is rightfully going to turn around and give him a red card that no one's going to notice that he touched him or the way or what he did.
Right.
And the fans are going to go nuts.
Exactly.
And that's when you're going to have a bigger problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, that needs to be addressed as well.
So, heading into the second half of the game, at this point it's 2-1 France. I think France showed that they are just a step above this Croatian team. Props to the Croatian team. But in the second half, the speed of France really, really popped out in my eyes. And you just saw Mbappe he is too fast for his own good. He cannot dribble fast enough. I mean, he literally on a play, fast break, and I forgive me, but I forget who gave him this long, 30-yard pass. And Mbappe got the ball, and I mean, he's running, and you can tell he's thinking 3 dribbles ahead, and he just gets 2 ahead of himself.
Yeah.
And, kind of the ball falls back a little, but he regroups, and he had a goal in this game, being the second youngest to score a goal in the World Cup.
How much is that kid going to get paid?
A whole lot.
Oh, my God.
Who's the first youngest?
I don't know.
Pelé.
Well, of course.
Come on, dude.
You didn't
How
know
did
that?
you not know that?
I told you that
Shame
before
on
the show.
you. Shame on you.
I can't believe you're using my knowledge against me.
That was not recorded, so I don't care.
It doesn't count.
And so I mean, you can tell halfway through the second half, Croatia's defense was kind of starting to break down. They weren't holding possession so much, and then towards the end, at that point it was already 4-1, and it was 4-1. And how Croatia scored their second goal, I mean. The keeper, I don't know if you've watched it, but the keeper, the Frenchman kicked the ball back to the keeper, and who scored the header, the own goal? What was his name?
Mandzukic.
Manchester. What was his name?
Mandzukic?
What he said.
Mandzukic? Something like that.
Ran down the ball, and the kicker was gonna kick it away, and the dude the Croatian stuck his leg out,
right,
and that's how they got the second goal. Yes,
he's the first guy to score at both ends.
Wow.
In a World Cup game.
I did not know that.
This World Cup really has had a lot of for as much as I've complained about the VAR.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't complained that much, but as much as I've complained about it, it has been fantastic.
I thought this was one of the better World Cups in the past few years, to be honest with you.
Well, there haven't been any in the past few years.
Yes,
the last
there
one
has.
was in 2014.
Well, yeah, a few years. Damn it.
Yeah,
This has been an exciting one.
Exciting.
I think what made it a little more exciting was you didn't have, the normal teams in there in the knockout stage.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil and Germany went out pretty early.
Yeah. So, and then of course, Russia being the host team, they made it pretty far. Croatia obviously making it to the final.
Yeah. Yeah, it had something a little bit different for everyone.
France wasn't a surprise, but...
Not a complete surprise.
No.
But I mean, not a whole lot of people were waving the French flag.
No.
Before the tournament. And so, yeah, they ended up winning the World Cup. It's their second World Cup since, they won it 20 years ago in 1998. They've really... Over the last 20 years, they've really become a power. They don't strike fear like Germany or Brazil, but they're up there.
Oh, yeah.
They're up there with the Portugals and the Italys and and Italy wasn't even at the World Cup, but Argentina and countries like that. They're in that category now, and I think Belgium, if they can keep this golden era going, they'll be in that same category. So there's a lot of good, and that French team is a young team. So They've got Pogba in the middle, Griezmann, Mbappe. There's a lot of good talent. Umtiti in the back.
Pavard, is he young
He's
too?
a young guy as well.
He was
That's a
everywhere today.
young team.
Yeah.
That's a young team that they should be really good for the next World Cup.
I agree.
Very, very exciting. Did you catch any of the third place game?
Absolutely none.
That's what I
Third
thought.
place game is useless. There's no sense of having it. No sense.
How do you determine third place?
Who cares about third place? Go ask Kobe Bryant about third and second place. Nobody cares.
I wish the NBA would do that. Have a little 5-game series.
Oh God, please no. You know what? Please, they cannot listen to this because they will grab the idea and run with it. Stop it!
Silver.
Stop it!
Adam Silver, hit me up, brother. eMontana21 on Twitter. DM me, brother. I will tell you how to improve ratings during the basketball playoffs.
No.
You have a third place series, right?
No.
Oh, can you
no.
can you
a third place trophy? No, you can't do that.
Can you imagine to see the Rockets and the Celtics battle it out for third?
No.
At the same, look, it would be a basketball fan's dream come true because they would have games just about every night. You schedule them in between the NBA finals. How exciting is that?
Not very. For you, maybe, but no.
Adam Silver, hit me up. eMontana21, positivesports10@gmail.com. Email the show. Hit me up. I will tell you what to do, brother. I got you. I'm going to improve NBA ratings. And if not the ratings, at least I'll get you a couple more dollars.
That's right. Or you can hit me up on Twitter at Brooklyn Gotcha, and I'll tell you why not to do that.
Yeah, don't hit him up. He's just going to ruin my party, man. He's just going to ruin my party. The World Cup's over. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, it sucks, man. The World Cup, it goes on for a month, and you have soccer damn near every day.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a good tournament. Props to France for winning. Props to Croatia for making it that far. But guess what? I won't be watching soccer for another 4 months.
4 months?
Years.
I was like, what tournament's in 4 months?
There will be a tournament in 4 months. I just don't know which one, and I really don't care.
That's right. You don't get into the leagues and the. Oh man,
I
love it.
The average American probably does not.
The average American, but you're below average.
Yeah, that's true. But the average American does not. Shut up. You know what the average American does get into?
What's that?
Baseball.
Oh yeah, and baseball's heating up.
This
is when it starts to get good.
Well, there's a lot going on. I mean, at this point, you have the good, you have the bad, you have the surprising, right? The middle of July.
You're the ugly. I'm
the ugly, but the fans still tune in to watch, so I may not be that ugly.
They only look at this half.
You almost screwed that one up, didn't you?
Yeah. The
All-Star break is here.
That's right. It's been. We haven't talked a whole lot of baseball because we've had a lot of other good stuff in the way, so to speak. But it's been a pretty interesting first half. There's some stuff that happened pretty much exactly the way we thought it would.
Yeah.
And then there's some stuff that we're like, whoa, didn't see this happening.
Which may be the surprising, right?
Right. And then there's some stuff that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened again.
Yeah. So
where do you want to go first?
Well, we can start with the surprising. Let's start with the surprising.
Okay.
Because I think there's quite a few surprises.
What's your biggest surprise?
The one that surprises me is the National League East. I mean, for one, it's completely backwards except for the Marlins. Sorry.
The Marlins are right where we picked them to be. There is no surprise there.
100%.
I nailed that
of
one.
the analysts. All right.
100% of the Positive Sports podcasters
yes.
Got this one right.
Yeah, I think we have to be surprised at how poorly the Nationals are playing.
Yeah, and specifically Bryce Harper, right?
Oh yeah.
In a contract year, it's shocking.
I'm almost starting to think that Bryce Harper is the problem with the Nationals. There's no way you can be considered one of the top 2 Major League Baseball players in baseball and be batting .220 and
214
and playing this poorly, not running out ground outs. The Nationals have had 8 managers in 14 years. That's a lot.
Yeah, that is.
3 in the past 6.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So I'm starting to think that Bryce Harper is the problem here.
And for a team with that much pitching, man, you really have to wonder what's going on there. And I mean, for a long time, I thought the problem with the Nationals was a manager's problem. But, when one manager fails,
right.
you think, okay, maybe it was a manager. When the second manager fails, okay, well, maybe those 2 guys. But now we've got a third guy in there, and he's maybe not failing. I mean, they're playing. They're right at 500, so they're not out of it. They're 5.5 games out. But, geez, you got to start to wonder if the problem are not the pieces now
right.
instead of the manager.
You have arguably the best pitcher in baseball, Max Scherzer. I mean,
I think there is no argument. I think he is the best pitcher in baseball right now.
And when you have the best pitcher in baseball, and consider top 5, let's say, in Bryce Harper, you have to build around that. And if you can't build around that, then that's a problem.
There's a real problem there.
So I mean, that's along with the Nationals, the other surprises are the Phillies and the Braves. I mean, I did not. They're battling for first place here.
Yeah, and it's going to be I think that battle's for real.
Yeah.
The Nationals may claw themselves into the battle eventually, but I don't believe the Phillies and Braves are going to go away quietly. Both of these teams I thought were decent teams, but I did think that they were a year away, maybe even 2 years away. But they've both shown to be really look. They've got good pitching, and the Braves I think have a little more hitting, and they're playing their pieces just fine.
Yeah, the Phillies have the better pitching of the 2.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Which one of the 2 teams needs to make a trade? Braves for pitching. Obviously, right? We say the Braves need pitching, and the Phillies need. Who needs to make the trade?
Look, if
for whoever, right? It doesn't.
If I am either one of those teams, and this is just me, I'm probably a little more conservative than the average Joe, especially in the Phillies case because they have pitching. I don't make a deal.
No.
I let these young guys go for it, and let's see what we got. Remember, the Phillies actually have some decent stuff down in the minors coming up. So they do have pieces to trade, but those are also pieces that they're going to bring up in September that are going to be in the heat of the battle, that are going to benefit from this season.
Right.
And look, you didn't expect anything this season anyway. You have a rookie manager that you didn't know what you were going to get. Play it out. Let this team grow up on its own. And next year, you're really ready to battle, right?
Right.
With the Braves, it's a little bit different. I might go for some pitching, but with them, it's kind of the same thing. That's also a very young team. Let them play it out. Let's see what happens. Because, look, at the end of the day, I believe, they're still really far away from the teams that we know are dominant right now, which all reside in the American League.
Yeah.
So let them play it out. Let them play it out and see if they can make the playoffs. See if they can win a wild card game. See if they can win a division series. See if they can win the NLCS. There's no one in the National League that's that dominant that makes me, if I'm the Phillies or the Braves, that makes me say, oh, we have no chance in hell in a series against the Brewers. Or we have no chance in hell in a series against the Diamondbacks. No. So let them play. Let them grow up. And continue to build and cultivate this team. You didn't expect this year anyway.
True.
Ride the ride, man. And here's the other thing. You let them gain all of that experience and all of that good mojo, for lack of a better word, without any pressure. No pressure.
No.
Because no one expected them to be here. No one's going to expect them to win the wild card game. No one's going to expect them to win a series. No one's going to expect them to win the NLCS. They can go play pressure-free baseball. And let me tell you, I remember when I played baseball. When I was playing free, that's when I played the best. Well, that's when I got the most walks.
Oh, T-ball, you can't walk in T-ball.
I did. That's how bad I was.
Yeah, I mean, The thing that scares me about the Phillies is their manager. He's I don't know that he is the most trusted person in Philadelphia, and if he makes a bonehead move in a crucial game, that comes down, coming down close to the postseason or whatever later in the season, and costs them a game and the division and the wild card spot, man, I don't know.
I don't know.
His
let him grow up in the process as well.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think the Nationals will claw themselves back into it, but I think they're going to fall short, and because part of the reason I think that is because they've proven over and over again that they can't function well in high pressure situations. They won the division last year because they ran away with it from the get-go. But when was the last time they had to come from pretty deep to come back and win it, even though they're the most talented team? And yet they're not. And then you've got the Mets in that division, which I have no idea. Let's not even talk about that. I have no idea what the hell they're doing.
We don't want to talk about them right now.
They're a surprise, not in that they're not in first place, that they are this bad. And it's the injury bug. Good grief.
It's everything. It's not just the injury bug. It's everything. This team is not... Look, man, when Jacob deGrom gives you these starts, okay, the guy's got a 1.68 ERA at the half, and this guy's constantly pitching the team into seven strong innings, which the Mets have lacked for a long time. They couldn't get starters to go past 5. Now they have Mets, who is starting to come around and go deep into games. They got Wheeler, who is starting to come around and go deep into games. You got DeGrom. Now you got Syndergaard back. And you can't score a run for your best pitcher?
When you have guys on that team making the kind of money that Jose Reyes is making, and his batting average looks exactly the same as DeGrom's ERA, except for the decimal point,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. Yeah.
So if you're the Nationals, if you're Mike Rizzo, you pick up the phone and ask, hey, who wants Bryce? Who wants Harper?
No. Only if you believe there's no chance of you re-signing him. He's still one of the top players in the game. And
I don't know, man. I mean, we've seen him in the playoffs a couple of times, and he hasn't really done anything. And he's proven his numbers are steady going down. I think you have to make a strong consideration.
But who's gonna
get him for a rental?
Who's gonna give you what everyone thinks he's worth?
For the Nationals, you just want to get what you can get for him right now. If you really don't think you're gonna fork over $300 million, because that's how much it's gonna cost.
If you don't think you're gonna sign him, then yeah, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely
it's not about thinking if you can sign him or not. Is he worth that much money? Because that's the total. That's what his thing's gonna be. $300 million.
No, I agree with you. That's the problem. Are you able to sign him? Do you have $300 million to pay him? And are you willing to sign him? Do you have $300 million that you're willing to put in that pot? Whichever one of those comes up no, then you got to move him.
Right.
And quite frankly, I don't know if I'm the Nationals, how do I feel certain that I can sign him? Yikes. Because there's going to be big dollar vultures out there.
Oh, yeah.
Your Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Cubs. Yeah, a whole bunch of people that are going to want to.
I think that's an interesting question, man. You got to consider. I consider it. Why not?
Hey, let us know what you think. If you think, let us know if you think the Nationals should deal Harper by the trade deadline. PositiveSports10@gmail.com. PositiveSports10@gmail.com. Let us know what your thoughts are about the Nationals keeping Bryce Harper or not. My surprise is the Seattle Mariners. I did not see that coming. They're a hell of a team. And remember, this team got Robinson Cano suspended.
That's right.
For a long time. I don't know what the time frame is, but it's a long time. He's suspended for a while.
50 or 80 he got.
Right, he got some big number. They're starting to cool off a little bit, but they're still in the thick of it. They're only 5 games out in the West. I think they would be the wild card team. Yeah, they would be the wild card team because there's no one in the East except for the Yankees and Red Sox. There's no one in the Central except for the Indians. The Indians are playing by themselves for crying out loud.
They really are.
And so, they're probably going to make the wild card unless, now that my man Ohtani is back, the Angels are only 3.5 games behind.
Dude,
and with Ohtani back, I mean...
Dude, before he came back, they were like 7.5 out.
Out of the wild card? Or out of the lead?
The division.
Yeah, now they're 8.5 out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's not because of Ohtani.
It's not?
They won't let him pitch.
Oh, that's why.
Once they let Ohtani pitch and bat,
forget it.
My man is blowing up.
Yeah, the Mariners are definitely a surprise. And when you think about it, I mean, they play on the West Coast, so we don't really get to see them that much.
Yeah.
And their best pitchers, I don't even think it's their best pitcher, Felix Hernandez.
Not anymore.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I mean, so I guess Nelson Cruz is still putting up big numbers. I don't know. Nelson Cruz?
Is he going to be around all year, or is he going to get suspended eventually for taking whatever supplements?
I mean, I'm going to believe that him and Robbie Cano are pretty good friends.
Yeah, and that'll be, if Nelson Cruz goes down to another suspension, that'll be the end of the Mariners.
I mean,
show.
So that's your biggest surprise, the Mariners?
Oh, the Mariners, yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
The good. What do you have for the good?
Oh, man, the good. Shit. I don't know. I think the good would be...
I'm going to go first then.
Well, go ahead. What do you got?
Dude, the good is the Yankees and the Red Sox.
No, it's not.
Look, it's been fun this far, and it's... You don't remember this. You're probably too young to remember when there were only two divisions. East and West. There was no Central. And, it got to the point where every night you were watching the game and with one eye and watching the scoreboard with the other eye to see what that other team was doing when you were getting down to that race. And the Yankees and Red Sox have been must-watch TV all year long. It's fantastic. The Red Sox, I believe, are up half a game or a game right now on...
I think a little more, no?
On the Yankees. Maybe 2. Oh, 4.5. Yikes. Oh, yeah, because they had that big streak here.
Yeah.
They won 9 in a row or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's been neck and neck all year. It's been fun to watch. Look, I know people get tired of Yankees, Red Sox, but it could be, Our Lady of Guadalupe against Little Sisters of the Poor. If it's a neck and neck race for 162 games, I'm in. I'm down. I want to watch it. And that's what these two have been. They're just neck and neck. It's going to be a fight to the very end. There's a lot on the line because it's much better to go into a series than it is to go into that one wild card game. And it's exciting. It's great base. They played fantastic baseball. It's a lot of fun to watch. So that's by far my good.
Yeah, I totally disagree. I mean, only because...
You don't think they've played that well?
I mean, we all thought this was going to go down. And, I mean, unfortunately for the other three teams in the division, the Orioles, the Rays, and the Blue Jays, they're not that good to begin with. And they just don't stand a chance. I don't think it's fun knowing, hey, we knew this from the beginning. It was going to be these two battling out.
It's fun. Look, good baseball is fun to me. That's all I care about. The other good that I don't, I'd be remiss to forget is the Cleveland Indians, specifically that side of the infield.
Oh yeah.
Lindor and Ramirez are putting on a show. I mean, that's 1 and 3 in the lineup is a problem. I mean, the first inning, pitchers are struggling because they're like, oh my God, this Lindor kid's all over the place. Ramirez is crushing balls. They're fun to watch as well. And Lindor's fun to watch just because even if you don't like him, he looks like he's having so much fun. It's just fun to watch him.
Yeah, he's smiling all the time.
I love watching that kid play. I mean, he looks like a bona fide 10-year-old kid having fun playing baseball. It's almost like he doesn't know he's getting paid millions of dollars and he's on TV and he's famous and all this other stuff. He's playing ball, to me, at least it looks this way. He's playing ball like a little kid and he's enjoying the hell out of it. And I am happy for him.
Well, he's definitely going to get paid. He's only 24, 25, and I think he's due up for a contract. So, and Lindor's doing this batting leadoff. 25 home runs. I mean, he's batting leadoff.
65 RBIs or so.
Yeah, I mean, what he's doing is great, is unbelievable. And then, obviously, with his glove, he's
a wizard.
top notch on the field.
And I was watching him last night. He made a play. He was running towards right field, fielded the ball that was hit on the second base side of second base, and still had the wherewithal to throw it back to second base as he's running in the right field to get the lead runner.
Incredible.
Just and the guy at second base, the second baseman, I don't remember who it was, just didn't have to do anything. Just stood there, blink, right in the chest. He didn't have to stretch. He didn't have to lunge or jump or anything. Lindor put it right on his chest with all of that momentum going in the wrong direction.
Unbelievable.
He's great. Anyway.
I think the good for me has been the NL West. I think it's shaping up to be competitive. The Dodgers have kind of came back to life, but they're not running away with the division, exactly. And you got the Giants in there that always seem to find a way, and just wait until they get Bumgarner back. They just may very well take that next step. It's an even year, so hey, this is when they like to this is when they like to play some ball. And then you got the Rockies playing pretty good lately.
Yeah.
And the Diamondbacks, who are missing one of their key pieces in AJ Pollock, they're kind of playing good. They kind of felt the effect of missing Pollock and JD Martinez, but now they're starting to come around a little bit, and all of a sudden you got a 4-team race.
Yeah, it is.
So,
I believe it's 3 games.
3 games?
Separates all 4 teams. I think the Dodgers and D-backs are actually tied.
Oh.
It's shaping up to be real nice. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, no, that's going to be fun to watch. I think the Dodgers are going to pull away, but it's fun to watch right now.
Yeah?
But again, you knew that it was going to be a race. Isn't it boring to you?
No. I knew it was going to be a race because I said that on our MLB preview podcast. I said this was going to be the best division.
Someone's
and it's 4 teams, not 2 teams that everyone knew. Everyone and their grandmother knew. My grandmother knew.
Grandma didn't know.
She knew. I'm telling you,
Grandma
bro.
didn't know.
Bro, I'm going to call her right now. I'm telling you.
She can't hear you.
Probably not.
Grandma doesn't even know how to spell baseball.
Nah. So what's been the bad?
The bad, I think, and I hate to pile on here because we didn't expect much from these 2 teams anyway, but what the Orioles and what the Royals are doing, and what the Orioles are going to continue to do because they're going to deal Machado eventually, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, man.
They are not bad. They are historically bad. It's embarrassing. When you're on pace to win 43 games, there's a problem.
Is that what they're on pace for?
Yeah, I mean they're on. Look, they've won 28 games, 26 or 28 games. Hold on, let me look real quick. 28 and 27 games. What are these 2 franchises? The Royals are 3 years removed from winning a World Series.
Holy cow.
What are they doing? Like, what is going on? And how do I get on the roster? Because I can't be any worse than those guys. I mean, it's just...
Wow.
It's historically bad. I mean, they're on pace to win 28% of their games. So what's that? A quarter? 41?
30?
45 games? I mean, that's embarrassing. They're going to lose over 110 games. That's 1962 Mets territory.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I don't know. And Baltimore's going to get worse because they're going to deal Machado.
Well, he's only 2 wins above replacement, so
2.6.
2.6.
That's a tenth of what they have. If they lose a tenth of what they're going to make the rest of the way, they're going to be down to 40 wins flat and lose 122 games.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing. I'll tell you what. If I was the Orioles, I would deal him quick, and that way you get a head start, somewhat of a head start for your future.
Well, I disagree. You don't deal him quick. You wait till the 31st. People are going to be... I mean, look, at some point, some teams will drop off after the All-Star break, but some teams will ratchet up the intensity and looking for help. You take a team like the Phillies, for example. Let's say they get on a hot streak after the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. Now they're thinking they're world beaters, right? They're going to go all in, especially with the farm system that they have. So I say you wait till the 31st. Let some of these teams get a few wins under their belt after the All-Star game. Let them get hot. 1 or 2 may drop off, right?
But you don't think if the Phillies get on this hot streak and they say, the hell, we don't need Machado?
No, I think just the opposite. I think if they play consistently the way they're playing right now, there's a chance that they're going to say, okay, let's just ride with this and see what we got. Right to my earlier scenario.
Yeah.
Just play it out. Let these young guys have one season of just going for it. But, I mean, if you're the Nationals, well, you've got Trey Turner.
Yeah.
You put him at third. But if you're the Cubs, the Brewers,
Well, I think
the Rockies.
I think the Brewers need some pitching. I think if they get because they got enough offense. I think if they get themselves another pitcher, a frontline starter,
Yeah.
they got enough offense. And right now they're battling the Cubs. So guess what? They're gonna need some pitching.
Yeah. What's your bad?
My bad's got to be the Mets. I mean, unbelievable how this team has just, they were my World Series pick. But
yeah, but that was a little homer thing, right?
No. I absolutely thought that they would, with the new manager, I thought this team would contend. They brought back a favorite in Jay Bruce. I was hoping Cespedes would be a little more healthier. I thought this starting rotation would be fantastic, and it has been. It kind of stalled out for a bit, but they turned it around, and Syndergaard went down with an injury. But Callaway, the manager has made some tough decisions out there, and the team just has not produced. And again, I'm gonna go back to the offense just not generating any runs for Jacob deGrom. It's an absolute shame. Absolute shame.
Yeah, I look with the Mets. I don't know.
I thought this was the year.
I don't think you can put it on Callaway. I think that we overestimated the pieces that we had offensively, and then when Cespedes went down,
right. So,
to me, that's a GM problem.
Get him. Let's not even go there or any further up than that. But this team is pretty much the same exact team that we had 3 years ago when we went to the World Series. So injuries aside, right? Of course, they always play a part, but injuries aside, this is the same exact team. So I just didn't see any reason for them to be in fourth place like this, and the way they started off is just
you were already buying plane tickets for the parade.
No, I wasn't, because I'm always prepared for this letdown. I'm always prepared for a crash landing. It just came a lot sooner than what I expected.
11-1 start.
Yeah.
And they have gone 26 games under 500 since.
I just don't get it.
Half a
really
season.
Don't get it. I don't get it. Because
in less than half a season.
Look, in this division, I just didn't think that the Nationals were going to just run away with the division. I didn't believe that the Braves and I weren't expecting the Braves and the Phillies to have the season that they are. So I was expecting, maybe a 3-team race and us being there in the mix. And unfortunately, there is a three-team race, but we're not in the mix.
Yeah, no, we're down there with the Marlins trying to stay out of the cellar.
So Manny Machado, where is he going? Does he get traded? Does he stay with do the Orioles get a little scared and not pull the trigger?
If you're the Orioles, I think you have to. They're not going to pay him what he wants or what the market's going to bear for him. He's having a fantastic season, which brings me back to my age-old argument: put all players on one-year contracts, and you will have the best team ever. Or acquire a bunch of players on 3-4 year deals that are in the last year of their contract, and you'll go to the World Series.
Dude, I mean, they gotta trade him.
They gotta trade him. I don't know. I just don't know where he's gonna land.
You would think the front runners are the Yankees, the Phillies.
To put him at third?
Yeah, you put him at third.
Oh yeah.
They got the pieces to trade. Absolutely have the pieces to trade.
What are they gonna trade?
Oh, they got Major League Baseball ready players, so they got the pieces.
Down in the minors?
And playing right now in they got a pretty loaded infield. So
who are they gonna give away?
I don't know. What's that guy's name? Andahar?
Oh, Andahar, yeah, they'd give him away for. They'd give that guy away for a 6-pack.
No, what are you talking about?
He's
one of their prospects.
Yeah, he's a prospect.
Okay, well, he's in the major leagues.
He's terrible.
Whatever. The Yankees got the pieces to give away.
I guess. And then they get Bryce Harper in the offseason.
Who, the Yankees?
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me.
That wouldn't surprise me either. Can you imagine that outfield?
Oh, my Lord. But again, Bryce Harper, what is he in come playoff time? What player is he?
Oh, who cares when you have all those other bats around him, right? He can go ahead and go.
You know how many strikeouts that would be combined? Because the other two already strike out quite a bit.
With him and Stanton? Whew. You know who needs help? And this is going to sound really weird considering they're in first place. The Astros desperately need some bullpen help.
Oh, yeah.
That team is so good.
Yeah.
Their batting order is excellent. In the field, excellent. Their starting pitching rotation is fantastic.
Yeah.
Their bullpen's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's gonna cost them a big game. Of course, they got a lead. They got a 4.5 game lead, so it's they're I think they're in the driver's seat in the West.
I'm not talking about for the division. That team's got higher aspirations than winning the AL West.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs is what we're talking about.
It's gonna cost them.
They need a pitcher. They need a couple of relievers.
Well, we'll see. Well,
they don't have any.
Well, hold on now, because once you get into the postseason, they have five. They have five.
That's true. They've got five. They can ship McCullers back to the bullpen like they did before. It worked last year. No reason to think it wouldn't work this year.
But yeah, you're right.
But they're going to need one or two more.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That's not going to be enough.
But I think, God, they're already a complete team, and
no, they're not because they have no bullpen.
Right. Yeah, but
pretty darn complete.
Probably the most complete out of all. I don't know. I think it's between them and the Red Sox.
Yeah, right now I think I would take the Red Sox over the Astros.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah, man, that's going to be fun.
Now that's going to be fun, yes.
Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, and Indians.
They should just get started right now.
That is... Oh my God, the American League playoffs are going to be so much fun if it's those four.
What do you mean if?
When it's those four.
Okay, that's better.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait.
What other big needs are there out there right now? No, there's nothing. I mean, every team can use bullpen help. Every team can use another bat, I think. There's no glaring holes.
I think the Brewers are that team that needs to make a move for a starting pitcher. I absolutely think so. Because if they do, they'll overtake that Central. The Cubs haven't been playing. They've been spotty all season.
Yeah, the Brewers have hit a bit of a tailspin here in the last couple weeks. Yeah. And now the Cubs are up 2 games on them. But yeah, all the more reason for them they have to make a move, I think.
In order to get some respect, I think.
Yeah. Did you hear the Cardinals fired Matheny?
Yeah.
That surprised me.
Did it?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Dude, he's done a great job with them so far, and B, you're 2 games over 500. You're not out of it. A manager who's been through the fire and has does things the Cardinals way, is a Cardinals guy. You're 2 games over 500. They've had some injuries. Guys coming back.
Has he won a World Series with them?
Didn't he?
I don't know.
Didn't he win that World Series against... I think he did. The World Series against the Rangers.
No, they didn't play the Rangers.
Yeah, they did. In the World Series?
No, that was... Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, they won that one. That was the one that they had that big comeback in Game 6 and then another smaller comeback in Game 7.
I thought that was against the... I thought that was against the San Francisco Giants that the Rangers won the World Series.
The Rangers never won the World Series.
No, that the Giants won the World Series against.
No, they did that to the Royals. And then the Royals came back in 15 and beat the Mets.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right, well, I guess I was wrong.
You're sick.
That too.
You got the sniffles.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't think he won a World Series, bro.
I think he did.
I think you're wrong. We're going to have to look this up.
Okay.
And if you guys want to tell us who's right and who's wrong, on Twitter at eMontana21. On 21. At Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho. Let us know. Because I don't think Mike Matheny has won a World Series with the Cardinals.
You don't think so?
No.
I think so.
No. Because his career highlights and awards are like a 4-time Gold Glove Award winner. There's that.
Okay, there you go. The man has won a Gold Glove. What more do you want from the guy? Jesus Christ. You got anything else?
Nah, man. I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover.
You want to go to shout-outs?
Go ahead, knock it out.
I don't have one. I'm waiting on you, bro.
Oh, this guy here. Oh, man. Man, my shout-out this show goes to Manny Pacquiao, who came back this after a long layoff, came back to win a belt. I don't remember the name of the belt.
A,
but
B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yes, Y, X, Y, Z. At 39 years old, regains a championship. He still looks chiseled. He's been doing government stuff in his, doing politics in his country. To come back at 39 years old in boxing and stone cold just knock out Matisse in the 7th round. Knockout. You need to see it. He laid him nicely with the left uppercut and just floored Matisse.
I can't believe he's still doing the damn thing.
I can't believe it either. Shout outs to Manny Pacquiao. Unbelievable career. I don't think he's done. I think he's going to fight again. But for now, he's champion. I'm assuming he's going to defend that championship. And rightfully so. I think he's going to fight again. So shout outs to Manny Pacquiao. The Pac-Man.
Damn.
The real Pac-Man.
You were right. The Cardinals won that World Series against the Rangers in 2011, the year before Matheny got there.
Wait. The Cardinals beat the Rangers?
Yes.
Really?
In 2011.
Really?
My shout out goes to 2 women, Angelique Kerber and Serena Williams. They played in the final of Wimbledon yesterday. Angelique Kerber won 6-3, 6-3 in a relatively nondescript final. For a final, not a big deal. Why the shout out? Angelique Kerber is now very close to completing the career Grand Slam, and hey, she just won Wimbledon. That deserves a shout out in my book at any moment in time. I don't care how nondescript your final is. And Serena Williams gets a shout out. And why does she get it? She just lost in the final. She's won a bunch of finals before. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is Serena Williams is only in her 4th tournament back after having a daughter.
Damn.
Ranked 25th. She's fallen all the way down to 25th because obviously she's been out of pocket for a while, having a child and being mom. Just a fantastic effort to make it through the tournament, to make it to the final. She ran into a buzzsaw. Angelique Kerber was awesome throughout the tournament, and she was really good. Serena Williams, in my opinion, doesn't get the respect of being one of the greatest athletes ever. Male or female. I don't care. Don't put the qualifier in. She's one of the greatest athletes ever. What that woman has done on a tennis court is beyond impressive. Why she doesn't get the recognition, I don't understand it. I think she's the best female tennis player we've ever seen. And quite frankly, she's one of the top 5 tennis players, period. And I think she's one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen. And to do what she did over the last 2 weeks in England after having a daughter is nothing short of impressive. My shout out goes to Angelique Kerber and Serena Williams on a fantastic final and fantastic tournament for both of them.
Impressive.
Very much so. Well, we've come to the end of another fantastic episode. Episode 27. We didn't do the number thing.
No, we did
Number
not.
27. Here we go. I've got the best number 27 ever.
Who's that?
This guy. When I was a kid, I was number 27, sometimes number 21. I have retired number 27 in this household. I won't let any of my kids wear it.
Your birthday's on the 27th.
My birthday's on the 27th, but if you want to get a hold of me, it's eMontana21 on Twitter. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of our own Traffic Cone Alex, how do they do that?
Don't be a leader, be a follower on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho.
And with that, my friends, we have come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. Thank you very much for all the support and love that we get from you guys. I appreciate it greatly. This is a lot of fun to share an hour of our day, of our week with you. We appreciate all the interaction, and we welcome more of it. So, with that, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.